Hey everyone, this is another video on the Pandas hands-on series where we'll be learning Pandas by solving Leetcode problems. Let's see which problem we are going to solve today. So this is pretty similar to the one that we have already solved. So I'll put up a link of that previous video here up in the corner. So let's go through this problem once and see what are the things we can learn from it. So it says the second highest salary. So we would be given ID and salary column. So note that we do not have any department table, department data frame or any columns related to department. So we do not have to merge, I believe, but let's read through it. We need to write a solution to find the second highest salary from the employee table. And if there are no second highest salary, we have to return null or none in pandas. So this is important. We need to remember it. Let's see what are the examples that they have given. One example is containing 3 records, and as we can clearly see, 200 is the second highest salary. The other example has only one salary record, so obviously it would be null. The second highest salary would be null. Also, if you have some keen vision, you would understand that we are not sending salary column as is. We are renaming it and sending it back as second highest salary. So before I jump into Jupyter, I would first need to copy this Pandas schema, and then I'll switch over to our fresh Jupyter notebook. First, I'll import Pandas and then paste the schema that I copied and I print it out. So yeah, it's similar to the first example where they have given us 3 records. And to find out any like first salary, high salary, second high salary, or nth salary, or something like that, we need to have that rank column, right? So I'll write it in one go. So this is a rank column that we would be generating in the runtime, and employee would be, we have to generate the rank on the salary column, right? So salary, if I do it in this way, it is like selecting the salary column as a series, but I have to do it this way. So first square brackets refer to that we are trying to select a data frame, and then the list of columns that we want to select from this data frame. So now that we have a salary data frame column, we need to use the rank method. So the rank method has two properties. Method is something which we are interested in. Method dense. Let's see what we get. Employee. So here if you observe, we got the rank, but our highest salary has the rank of 3 and our lowest salary has a rank of 1. So we need to reverse it. Pause this video and try it on your own. What are the things that I need to change here to make it to reverse this rank value? Okay. So if you have already thought about it, congratulations. If not, then it is the ascending parameter that we need to pass, and it should be set to false. Ascending to false, right? So now if I do it, yeah, the highest salary has rank of 1, the second highest salary has a rank of 2, and so on and so forth. So we need to grab that row or those rows with rank 2, right? How do we do it? Again, a quick quiz questions for you. How do we do it? We select the data frame using the outer this particular square brackets, and within it we need to specify the condition. What our condition would be, our rank should be equal to 2. Let's see if we get that. Yes. So with this condition we are grabbing this. In this case there is only one row, but if there are multiple rows with rank 2, then we will be grabbing those rows as well. So we have selected all these things, and now what we need to do is we need to only select the salary column. So to select a salary column from a data frame, and if we want to return it as a data frame, we need to use this syntax. Outer square bracket again for data frame, and the inner square braces would contain the list of columns that we want to extract out. So this is how you extract out the salary column, and it is in the form of data frame. How do you know it? Where I type, so pandas core frame data frame. So this is how we know it. And what if I drop one bracket out of here? It is series, right? So that's the difference. Okay, I'll remove the type. And so we have the salary column. What other thing we need to do is rename this column, right? Let's try it. Rename. And how do you do it again? Pause the video and answer it on your own and then resume the video. So we pass in the columns property and it has to be a dictionary. The key should be the old column and the value should be the new column that you want to replace it with. Second highest salary. So yeah, we have done the renaming and everything looks fine. Let's also try out with the none or the null value. So if I try again, I just copy it. Maybe I'll write employee 2 and remove the last two records so that we get only one record. And employee 2 looks something like this. We would use the rank column here. I have to rename a couple of things. Employee 2, salary. Method is dense, ascending is false. I hope this works. Employee 2. Yeah, we got the rank of 1. And now I need to grab this one as well. Employee 2. Select those entries from employee 2 whose rank is equal to 2. Grab the salary column and return as data frame. And then rename the column salary to second high salary. Okay, this is how we get it. Second high salary, nothing, right? But we have to return null. But let's first see if we were able to pass our test cases. Okay, I'll switch over to Leetcode. Just give me a second and I'll copy from my other screen and paste it here. Okay, so where is it? The first thing that we have done is generating the rank column. So code here, the first thing that we are doing is generating the rank column, right? And then we would be selecting the entries with second rank and renaming the columns, and this is where we return also. Let's see if this passes our test case. I think 2 test cases, so let's see. Okay, one is failing, the other one is passing. Okay, you got to understand that the test case with multiple entries, like more than like 3 entries, was passing, and the one with 1 entry failed because obviously we are not returning anything, any entries or any values which would be translated to null. So we need to make sure that we return none. Okay, and let's switch over to Jupyter and see how we can do it here in Jupyter. So what we have done is we are using this salary data frame and renaming the columns of this data frame and then passing on to it. We need to somehow conditionally check whether the this particular column has any entry or not, and it's not, I mean, it can be done using data frame, but that would be quite complex. So what we would do is we would extract salary, but this time not as a data frame, as a series, right? So if I do something like this, I just render this one, you get a series with no values, right? Obviously, but if you had any values, you would get the entries here. This is a array like list, right? So with this particular value, so this is a series, right? With this particular value, we can use the inbuilt length method. If I do this, because length accepts an iterable kind of an input, and this is an iterable because it has a array like item. So if I do this, it will give us a length of 0. If I omit the 2, because we already have a employee, if I omit the 2 here, and if I do this for the employee variable where we had some entries, right, and let's check the length there, it gives us 1. So I think we have achieved what we wanted to. So instead of like returning a data frame just like we have been doing here, we would return a series, and this is what the series would look like, and we would save this snapshot and call it salary series. So this is our salary series, and now if I check the length of this salary series, it should be same as earlier. It is 1 because employee does not have employee has only 1 record whose rank is 2, right? If I just change this one to 2 and rerun this cell and this cell, we get 0, right? Now with that, what you can do is, instead of returning 0, we need to return none if length is equal to 0, else we need to return series. Or do we need to return series? Well, we'll see. So if I do something like for the employee, return these cells, we get 1 200. So this is the series that we have returned, right? 1 200. And if we do it with employee 2, I think we should get none. In this case, it is not displaying anything, but it is returning none. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to return data frame. We cannot return series. So how do we create data frame out of series? Let's see. PD data frame. And if you note the way that Leetcode is generating data frames for us, it is in this way only. So they are passing the data, which is this, in the first argument of this data frame method, and then the columns that they want to specify. But let's try out. Let's take baby steps. Let's first pass in some values. Let me just pass in 10, 20, and 30. Right, and let's see what we get. We get 10, 20, and 30, but the default column is 0, and the default index also starts from 0. We are not bothered with the index values. We want our columns to be renamed. So if I go by this way, the way that Leetcode has done, so we would pass on this columns variable as a list of columns. So I'll just use numbers or something. If I rerun it, we get numbers instead of 0. Okay, I think we are going somewhere and it's in the right direction. So what if we need to, so we can do it in this way also. Like we need to put our second highest salary, and this should return our entry. And from where we would get it, we can use a series instead of a plain list, because series is also an iterable. So if I write something like this, a series can contain arrays. So this time I'll write 3, 4, 5. You see the same thing, only the values have changed. So instead of passing this, let me pass this particular series and check once what we get. So we get nothing because we need to have this condition in place, and for that we need to copy this and paste it here. But will this work? Let's check. Okay, so we're not getting anything yet, right? If I just change this employee back and check if we get something, we're not getting anything. Why so? Because if you see, although we are trying to pass it, but the values that it is returning, once is none, another is series. We have to do something like, we need to make them iterable. So we need to wrap them within square braces. And now you get something like this. Although it doesn't look like the way that we expect it to be, but we would soon get it there. So it is NaN. Why does it say NaN? Because it is a series. We need to return a value of this series. Like we are sending some none. None is a value. None is not a series. So you cannot have series as the value of a row, right? So if I return something like else, return 1, 2, 3 or something like that. So now you see we get this value. So instead of returning salary series, we need to return a value out of it. And the way that you do it is you use the iloc method. And iloc is integer based location. So you need to pass on integer. So it is a 0 based index. Series is a 0 based index kind of a list. So the 0th element would give us the salary value. So if you see this, second highest salary is now 200, right? Now if I just change it to employee 2, okay, and if I rerun this, so now you see second highest salary returns none. Okay, so this is what we have to do to make our second test case pass. Okay, I'd also like to share another way of doing this entire thing. So data frame can also accept a dictionary where the key would be the column name and the value would be the value of this row. and it has to be an iterable also. So if I do something like, let's say the column length that we want is second highest salary, so that should go into the key, and the value would be the one that we already have, which is this logic none if the salary series is 0, and else salary series I log 0, which is the first element of the salary series. If I run this, I think I missed a place. Okay, yeah. If I run this, I get the same result. So anyway, whichever way you like, both of the things work. I'll go with this way. Seems like complex. Like this seems like a convenient way, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay. So let's rewrite whatever we have done in Leetcode. I'll switch over to Leetcode now, and let's see what we need to do. We have been returning the rank as is. So first we need to save it in a series format, and for that we need this line. I'm copying something from the Jupyter notebook, obviously, and here I just have to erase this and paste it. So here we are saving the salary series in series format, and now what you do is we need to generate a data frame because we are not expected to return a series, right? So we need to return it in this way. So employee, it should be employee, not employee 2. Employees rank has been calculated, employees rank equals 2, and we are returning it, saving it as a series. Then we are generating a data frame out of the series by passing on a dictionary. Key is the column's name, second highest salary. Let me just confirm, second highest salary. None if the length of salary is 0, else return the first element of the salary series. Okay, I think this should do. So let me just return this data frame and run our test cases. Okay, so this works. Both of our cases have passed, and if you can see, okay, now it's time to submit. Voila, we have like successfully submitted our code. I'll just move over to Jupyter and explain you again what we have done. So what we did was, it's pretty like easy. First things what we did was calculating the rank and saving it in the rank column, which is this. And then we filtered out our rank in this way, where we needed second high salary, so the rank should be equal to 2. And this time, because we had to also return none, right? If there were no second high salary, we had to make a choice. We could not return this data frame as is. We have to adjust it conditionally. So for that reason, we saved this snapshot in a series format, and then we applied our logic. The logic was to return none if the length of series or the series did not have any element, else return the first element of the series, which would be the second high salary. Because if you think, what happens if there are multiple rows with rank 2? Doesn't matter, the value would be same. It would be 200, 200 and 200. You just need to grab one out of it. So we are not sure whether there would be 10 items or 20 items, but we are sure that there would be one item, because this condition would be not true in that scenario. Whenever the length of the salary series is not equal to 0, meaning that there is one element, so we can select at least the first element for sure. So this is why we are selecting the 0th element out of it, and with that we were returning this data frame, and hence all our test cases were passing. I hope you liked it, and we will be solving many such problems from this Pandas series. And yeah, I hope you get an opportunity to apply this kind of logic in your code wherever you are writing, like for yourself or for your company. And do let me know in the comments if you have any feedback. If you think I should improve on something, do let me know. With that, I'll conclude. Okay, bye bye. Happy coding.